Yes. Boys Umphrey's Easter in Quarantine. Looking for a way to make it out. Love it. Little Easter music. See you when I see you. I love it. What a sentiment. Some great lines in there. Brendan Bayless from Umphrey's McGee and the guys just killing that. Very fitting and the right tempo for where we are right now. Usually you listen to Umphrey song and this is a lot more mellow. They span the spectrum. I digress. Happy Easter, everybody. I got ahead of myself. Happy Easter. It is Sunday. We have just completed a month of coming to you every day. I'm boring my family to tears, but hopefully I'm bringing you guys a little bit of joy. They're like, Dad, you are just way too much. You know what the word oversaturation means? And I'm like, obviously not, And, the reason I do this on Easter, because my head is the shape of an Easter egg. So I was thinking of painting it and, maybe cracking it live for you on the screen today. So it's been an interesting month of lockup. I'm sure we've all getting a little bit long in the tooth now, and we understand that there's a new norm, that tomorrow it's not going to turn on like it has. But we have each other. We're keeping each other entertained, distracted. The house party app has been a godsend. My daughter says, that's so 7 years ago, Dad. That's so 2013. And I'm like, yeah, but that's me. I'm 2013. I'm actually a lot older than that. But it's a great way to keep in touch. And everybody was on there last night talking to different groups of people that you don't really you're not really hanging out with all the time and seeing. So you get a little chance to pop in and see what everybody's up to and see everybody's family and talk to them. And it's kind of like being there, but it's not. And yesterday we increased the social isolation a little bit. We have a little area in the front where everybody's hanging out and socializing. And, we're still not doing really anything. It's not like everybody's partying, but, I'm sure we're going to get to that. I'm sure we're all going to get to that. But we have been keeping each other amused. My guests today, the Umphrey's McGee, the guys, they're a band. I'm sure everybody out there that's tuning in has probably heard of them. But if you haven't, you should owe it to yourself to check them out. They're great. I had a bunch of people today that saw I was interviewing them and then went and checked them out. I was like, holy crap, these guys are good. But it was the year 2001. And my cousin Bob lives in Maryland. And, everybody's connected. I've never seen such a scene where it's like, oh, yeah, that's my cousin, my brother-in-law with Fish, my best friend growing up in high school. His brother was Trey's brother-in-law's roommate, Kevin Stater's roommate, Tommy Andaloro. So I got into Fish and then I was like, hey, that is really weird. And then because I got into Fish, my cousin Bob introduced me to his friend, Armin Sadler, right? Yes. I got that right. And Armand said to me, he had booked Fish in the very beginning and was responsible. He was before Monterey got in there and now Paradigm. He was booking Fish. And he said to me, Kravitz, I got this new band. You got to check them out. They're playing in Hollywood at this little club called the 1650 Club. And I grabbed my friend Clayton Halsey and threw him in the car and took him out. And we went to go see the band. And by the time we were done, our jaws were on the floor. We were like, what? And the room was empty. Probably about 20 people in the room. And we're all hanging out and just having our minds blown. And afterwards went back and met Vince. And I met all the guys in the band. And we hung out and, just bonded over music and love. And, being at that time, they were just like, flying every song with 30 seconds here, a couple minutes here, just bouncing from tune to tune to tune. And we were like, okay, we're down. And, I just went through all my pictures trying to pull up some shots of the guys. And I've been shooting them since 2002 was the first time I photographed them. And we were all a lot younger there. I had a lot more hair. They did too. I mean, we're getting older, but, still at it and still cutting it and still cutting edge. So right now I invited the whole band. It's really happened quick. I put this all together in 24 hours with the help of Joel. And, the guys are all busy. They're all trying to make a living and feed their family. We're all facing the same thing. So they're all doing lessons and a couple of them are tied up with lessons today and Easter with the family and kids and everything like that. But I am happy to introduce them. I'm going to bring them in right now. We have Kris Myers in the house. Hi, Kris.
Hey, how you doing, Jeff?
Good to see you.
You too, brother.
And there's Ryan Stasik, the bass player. Kris is the drummer. And Joel Cummins on the keys. Happy Easter, guys.
Hello, Joel.
And do you guys do this at all? Do you have like group Umphrey's meetings on the old Zoom?
No, we haven't.
We've had a couple Zooms. We've had some family hangs too, where all the kids get to see each other, and we had a couple kids ones and then adult hangs later in the day, which are always fun.
Yeah.
And how did you work on the new tune? Was that all just sending each other tracks, or are there drums on the new song, on the new tune? It's hard to tell because it's very like no drums, right?
Not that I know. Not for me at least.
Not for you.
Yeah, that was honestly all Jake and Brendan that did those parts.
And Brendan and Jake playing sax?
Yeah.
Everything.
Jake played all the instruments. Yeah.
Oh, so they're a duo now.
Yeah, we're actually not even in the band anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, newsflash.
Times are tough, so they cut out 4 of the guys.
Maybe in a couple of years you get your jobs back.
It happens.
So
hopefully,
I'll go around the horn. I'll start with Kris. Kris, you're in Nashville. How's it going for you out there?
Not bad. I'm feeling more and looking more like a potato each day.
Are you working out at all, or training, or what?
No, not really. Got the extra fat right here, for the next potato famine, just in case.
Well, Nashville's not known for health food.
No, definitely not. And I'm cooking half of the time, but I cook. But yeah, it's a little more loose here still. It is a stay-at-home policy, but parks just got closed last week, and we're a little behind the times here. But I'm doing the best I can. I'm working on the drums and trying to get back to it again.
You're practicing a lot?
Not a lot, just a little bit.
Just a little bit
more. I'm a little rusty right now, but comes with the territory.
Yeah, I guess it's hard when you're just sitting around the house and don't really have anything coming up to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And are you by yourself out there, or you got a little company?
No, it's all me, man.
Oh, it's crazy. So you're talking to your stuffed animals and stuff.
Yeah, I'm losing it. I'm going crazy.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're still at least you look clean and shaved and ready. Ready.
I did just for you, Jeff.
Thank you. Ryan Stasik, my man. You're in South Carolina, correct?
I'm in Charleston.
Okay.
I am.
How's it going?
It's going very well. It's very much a lot more people in the house than Kris there. I've got a 2-year-old. She just turned 2 during quarantine, so she doesn't really know what's going on. So we had a nice little isolated quarantine birthday with just the fam. Yes. So I have a 2-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter. So between homeschooling and teaching lessons and trying to be a good husband, father, our days we're trying to figure out more of a routine and switching off for each other so we can. Mickey's 2, and you can't really, it's all hands on deck. You can't let her go because she will find trouble instantaneously. So we're figuring out what works for us and how to really cherish this time home as a family. And luckily, being home unexpectedly from the road, there's been a silver lining because 2-year-olds and 6-year-olds, man, there's a lot going on that I would be missing, and I'm really grateful to be home and to really be a part of it.
Yeah, it's very. I'm bonding with my 20-year-olds, but they're over me bonding with them. So I'm like, this is great. We get to hang out, and they're like, no, this really isn't great at all. It kind of sucks. We don't want to be here. But I can imagine at that age, you guys are always on the road. I mean, you guys have a very unusual tour schedule. You're not like the typical band that will go out for 3 months at a time and then take a month off and go out for 3 months at a time. You figured out a very interesting flow on how to tour. Joel, you want to get into how that came about? you're touring, figuring out the 2 weeks on. Is it 2 weeks?
Hang on, Jeff.
You know, Joel's on AOL dial-up, so you got to be careful.
Audio issues.
You have an audio. All right, go ahead, Ryan. Talk to me.
So,
how did you guys figure out your schedule?
Well, when we first started grinding it out, we were a lot younger and we could take more of a beating. So we tested out being out for 168 shows or almost 200 shows a year, and then we realized that was burning us pretty thin. And then as we started trying to be more precise and instrumental in which demographics we were going to hit or which part of the countries we were going to hit, we decided that being on the road for 3 or 4 days made sense, and then coming home to be with families and kind of splitting the time. But now I've learned that I'm gone for most weekends, regardless which band it is that I'm touring with or shows, because most shows happen during the weekends. And there's a lot of family stuff that happens during the weekends that you just miss out on, especially when both parents work and the kids are in school. So this has been a whole, it's not just like spring break or summer vacation. I mean, we're trying to do the homeschooling while we're at home. So there's a lot more to balance between the family, but it's awesome. And I found a lot of positivity out of it. I know I'm not really a complainer in general in life, so I've really enjoyed tackling some things that would be issues for some people right now. I mean, I'm not a really good teacher for a 6-year-old, but my wife and I are definitely more artists. So we've gotten creative to get outside of the regular curriculum for a first grader and just kind of make it fun for her, for us, so she could keep learning. And then, music is a big part of that as well.
I see you guys on the internet having so much fun with the kids and posting up on Instagram, and it's great. It's great to see here. I'm going to bring Joel back in. You all right?
Hey, I'm back. I'm on my computer now. So
all right, good. Yeah,
Hello.
Much better, Joel.
AOL dial-up.
I'm not sure what was happening there.
But
yes, go ahead, Ryan.
So I was just FaceTiming with Kris the other day with my daughter Punky, who's 6, and she's taken a liking to drums. So we were talking about, she's learning "We Will Rock You" by Queen, and she was so excited that we hung out and talked to Kris for a while. Right after we hung up, I forgot to tell you this, Kris. She's like, "Can we call Kris back? Can we call Kris back? I need him to teach me how to spin my sticks. I want to spin my sticks." I was like, "I'm sure he'll teach you."
They always want to learn the important stuff first.
Yeah.
How do I jump with my guitar?
Yeah. Well, Jeff, you could probably dial in Tommy Lee for that. He can teach her personally. He's the master of that.
Yeah, Tommy, not the easiest guy to deal with, guys. talk about a baby. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
I got Tommy Lee stories for days. Not, it's so funny. The people, like, when I deal with you guys, it's like dealing with friends. It's like dealing with real musicians that are real people. You guys aren't putting on an act. But a lot of the people that were in that rock and roll industry, they're damaged. All those drugs and all those years of abuse. Just, I'm not saying that you guys don't abuse yourselves. Joel, tell us a little bit about your situation. You got a young kid, very young child, right?
Yeah, our daughter Willow Quinn's about 17 months old. She's walking, she's dancing. So all these streams have been great because we just fire them up here in the back, and it sounds great, looks great. We can go do a quick diaper change too. Yeah, I've been teaching a bunch and been generally playing my piano. I've been doing some live streams too every Wednesday night on the Umphrey's YouTube channel, and kind of using that as a little motivation to keep my chops up and to learn some new stuff.
Are you teaching?
Yeah. I'm teaching on livelessonmasters.com. Ryan is as well. We also have a Friday night hang pre-Brennan Wine Not. So we've had a pretty good time doing that too, doing that together.
It's called Just Because.
Just Because.
Just Because. Yeah, Brandon's been doing his Wine Not, where he basically gets completely shit-faced throughout a couple hours on there and has a blast playing.
With his wife.
Yeah, with Annie.
Who's the real star of the show.
That's what I was going to say. Now we're learning what's going on, and I think Brennan's gotten a little upset because he's been canceling band practice. So I don't know. I think there's a little tension.
A little tension there in
the duo there.
Yeah, it might be, what they say, you don't want to work with your family because then you're with them all the time. I don't know how Derek and what do you call it?
Susan?
Derek and Susan, yeah. I mean, that's got to be tough to be all the time. Be like, okay, honey, let's go. Ready to go on stage? Are you ready to go home? Did you get the milk?
Yeah. You got to think about that.
Hey, Jeff. I like your T-shirt.
Yes, thank you. We'll talk. This was from. I think I can pull in the picture. Yeah, here it is. Here's the shot that's actually on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
You know, we've been taking pictures together for years, and the guys called me up and they're like, "Kravitz, come a little early. We need a promo shot," and we shot all over the place. And I think this was one of our last positions. Was like,
yeah, it's one of the railings at the Wiltern,
and it was just
see Bayless being like, "Let's go, wrap it up."
He was not. He was not in good spirits that day.
Yeah,
he never was first dude. Never.
He had to apologize later to me, just like, "I'm so sorry, dude. I just was so
guilt."
You know, and this was before all the little kids too, so you guys didn't really care much about sleeping back in those days.
I always remember Brennan at every single photo session every year being basically like for every photo just being like, "Okay, guys, this is the one. This is the one. All right." And then he'll be like, "Here we go. Let's go." It's like it's over.
Yeah, you know what? It's hard to have patience for that stuff. I mean, most of the time, I wish I had a nitrous tank around to give my subjects a little nitrous and make them easier to work with, like a dentist. This is going to be painless, guys. You're going to be fine.
You're best when sedated. Yes.
But you know, it is unique. I mean, because I've been working with you so long. When I'm on stage, I mean, this picture here. I mean, this is probably
yeah. Look at that hair.
Whoa, got the serious logo on there. Yeah.
Owen.
That's some old stuff. I think this is probably Bonnaroo when you did a late night. And here's when you started your Halloween. This is 2004. Now, this is where like kind of the mashup started, right? You guys became
that was more of a medley, but we shouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Well, we don't go to that show specifically, but the medleys kind of led to the mashups, right? Wasn't it the next year or so that you started mashing up?
It was a couple more, but it was that first one that we learned, the Come Together and Closer, right?
Right.
Wasn't that Z-Trips?
Yeah, that was like someone else, a different artist that did the mashup that we tried live, and I think it was we
tried live, and people loved it. We were like, why don't we just do our own? We can make our own mashups. So that was kind of the impetus of the whole thing getting started.
I remember my first costume that year. I think the first year was San Francisco, and I was the Incredible Hulk. Yeah,
the Hulk.
My mustache kept falling off.
Stasik, did you have something to add there?
I did. I remember a kid gave me an iPod in Chicago, and I would put it on shuffle, and that Come Closer was on that iPod when we were in Santa Barbara, and we were like, "This is pretty cool. We should do this." And then once we covered that one, then we started deciding that we should do originals, and then we did a decade's worth, which ended up being Zonky, that we finally released in 2016. And if you're not familiar with Zonky, apparently it's really big in the news right now. A Zonky was born today in Africa or something.
A Zonky was born.
But the funny part about us finishing the Zonky record is it's really the first time that we ever played any of the mashups correctly from start to finish. So
that was one of the reasons why we went into the studio. We're like, we got to play these things right.
Well, I mean, how do you, like, Kris, how do you keep track? Because you're playing two different songs at the same time. So, and with these songs, you guys are just teasing little licks back and forth. And it's not like one just goes into the other and then it becomes the other song. It's like in and out and in verse, like changing verses and lines in the littlest parts.
Yeah, it totally stretches your brain inside out from what you remember of learning that song before. I think it's just lots of just playing it and practicing it over and over again. We had to literally rehearse. Over the years, we kind of got used to the amount of time put into it, and we would put more days and more time in advance to get it under our fingers and on our brains. And the good news is that the songs you choose for mashup properly fit in the typical pop format, like most pop songs, where you have the same form, same tempo, same key, et cetera, et cetera. Same melodies are a little just slightly different, but they fit, and that's the whole beauty of a mashup. So all of those things,
Yeah, I remember that. By the way, I just looked that up, and we debuted "Come Closer" at Crash Mansion in L.A. 2008.
Okay.
Oh,
You're
I
right.
remember that. Yeah, that was the
Talked
old
about it
short
in
club.
Santa Barbara. But yeah, I remember the first year. One of the ones that I put together was it was Thriller and Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. And as those two songs go along, it was crazy how all these things lined up. Some songs just kind of seemed to naturally fit and flow together, and that's one where both of those forms were really similar.
But I mean, how do you keep track? And what happens if you fuck it up? Do you just like just forget, just stop playing, just keep going?
Never stop.
The secret of the jam band success is don't stop if you fuck it up.
The jammers
Never
keep going, so you know.
You never throw in the towel, man. You never throw in the towel. It's the art of recovery. That's the jam band way. It's all about recovery.
Wasn't Miles Davis had a great line about mistakes? That there are no mistakes, or
play it again and then it's on purpose.
Or
play it again, it's on purpose. That's it. Play it. You make a mistake, play it twice.
Or play through it or something, you know.
Yep.
What I was trying to show you before is I have my Sturgill Simpson tour T-shirt from March 10th or March 10th when he played here in Charleston. But the whole back has 25 dates that he never played.
Right.
It's really weird to be wearing a T-shirt where all these shows never happened because of COVID-19. And he actually was infected or is still contagious.
Yes.
He's better now. But it's just so crazy how close to home it's hit with a lot of people that are that we know and that are close to us, and how serious it is. And then now I own a T-shirt where half the shirt never even happened. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's unique.
It's where's your LA your LA and San Diego merch? Did you actually have merch that was being sent in for those shows?
Well, I think we probably had a tour shirt, and we probably had posters for those. I don't know. Are we saving them for the makeup dates? Is that what you do? I guess.
You just cross them out with a Sharpie at the bottom of the dates and write in the new ones?
Hey, Vince.
A lot of people might not know this, but just before they were, Umphrey's was on their way. I mean, you guys were just about to jump on planes in some cases.
We were at the venue.
Everybody was in San Diego. Yeah.
Oh, you were in San Diego?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I heard somebody played golf down there with Troy. Troy told me you guys were playing golf.
I was about to get my rental car from LA to San Diego.
And it's just like, guess what? We're not doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, things changed so fast in those days. It was like, we're going to go. No, we're not going anywhere. And it was just like everything. And we were all so excited. I'm sure you guys were, to be there and be at the venue ready to play and just have the carpet. Has that ever happened to you guys before?
Not like this.
No.
I packed for Iceland. I was supposed to do California straight to Iceland and back home. So I had a huge bag for 30-degree weather and then sunny San Diego weather, and flew to LA, woke up in the morning in San Diego, and they said, "You're on a flight home from San Diego. Go home. This is getting serious." It was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we've had a couple, like, where there was a hurricane or something, and we rescheduled because of, but that was just one or two shows at a time. Never something like this. And I think the other thing was, I felt like we didn't really get to say a proper goodbye to everybody. When we left Aspen, we didn't really know what was happening. And like, Ryan and Kris, I didn't even see, because Kris was in LA and Ryan flew out of San Diego, and I took the bus back up to LA. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad we have these virtual hangs now. I've said to a few people.
Bye, Joel.
Can you?
It was fun. What a great career.
Can you imagine what this would have been like in 1992 or 93 when there was no internet? And then what? Like,
talk about dial-up AOL.
Yeah,
right. It was to try to get it.
Crazy. No, but I mean, I think that we're very fortunate that we're at least in this time where we can stay close with the people that we love, and and at least see them and talk to them. And I don't know. For me, it's we've been hanging out here and kind of looking out for our neighbors, and it's been kind of nice to have people around. And even though we're social distancing, kind of everybody's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's rare in California. You don't really talk to your neighbors much. And now you're seeing them all the time. My wife is making masks for the whole neighborhood. She's out there sewing and making masks. And she put up on next door, anybody need a mask? And all of a sudden people need a mask. I'm expecting a whole bunch of pastries and baked goods to show up in payment.
Yeah. I love her. She's great.
Yeah, Julianne, she's a big fan. The whole family.
I said hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will.
please.
Give my love to your guys. I mean, I know all the wives. I've known Kris. I've known all his girlfriends over the years.
all two of them.
Two of them.
Hey, Jeff.
Okay. Yes.
I knew when we first met that we were going to have a very long friendship because I think you let me a razor to shave my balls. So
That's a true friendship right there, bro.
That was the first
Wow,
Jamaican.
that wasn't what I was expecting.
Well, you know,
It's true.
It's something else you guys have been involved in is you guys were at the very forefront of creating this tourism shows where people would go down. And those were the shows that we would go to hedonism. They'd kick out all the sex freaks and then they'd bring in all the music freaks. And we'd be in this place. It was pretty disgusting, but it's still fun. It was really fun. And you guys would play with your partners, the Disco Biscuits on the beach, and you'd have a couple other guys out and you'd be floating in the water, listening to your favorite music and all you can eat resort. And now everybody's doing it. Dan Berkowitz has made a cottage industry out of it. You know, our friends down at Cloud9 have done an amazing job over the years. You know, they're really cutting the ground for this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it kind of started with Jam Cruise and Jam in the Dam. Those were our first international things that we did. And one of the reasons why we wanted to start holidays was that we just didn't want to be on the boat for 5 or 6 days. We're like, can't we do this somewhere where there's a beach and we can all, you know, chill on the beach and do that? Not to take anything away from Jam Cruise, because I think it's an amazing event in and of itself.
You just did. You screwed it up.
But it's a very much more intense experience. And I think, you know, being able to be at a resort and all you need is your room key, you know, you can just kind of leave your shoes in the room if you want. It's pretty special. I love the holidays vibe, and I'm hoping we'll be able to get back to that at some point here.
Well, this year the plan was to go to Iceland for something different, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that was with Larry Siegel and with Ethan Schwartz, right?
Yeah, and hopefully that's the same thing. Hopefully that's something that is still going to happen. I mean, we definitely are looking at potential options for makeup dates for this. Just because I know that, you know, we weren't the only ones really looking forward to that.
Oh no, it was sold out. You had a whole crew of people flying over from the U.S. because there's no Umphrey. Are there Umphrey fans in Iceland? Have you met any Icelandic Umphrey fans?
There's two. There's two.
Yeah,
and you know them both, right?
Yeah. Well, there might be more now because, you know, they're like, oh, who's this band that's selling out shows? We should probably check it out, right?
Have you any?
And then canceling them.
And then
have any of you been to Iceland before? You been to Iceland? Any of you?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
I have. It's incredible. You were in for a treat. It was really incredible. But there's nothing at night. So like at nighttime, to have a band to go see at night would be so amazing there because the daytime and everything you're doing, and then afterwards you can go see the Northern Lights when you guys get off stage because they don't start till 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
That's the plan.
Yeah, well, it's something else to come up. But really, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I know you guys have some dates. You rescheduled those dates you had in LA, but I think it's a pipe dream that anybody thinks that they're going to allow people to be in an enclosed space if this doesn't get eliminated with the summer or something like that.
Yeah, I personally, I'm an optimist, but I think the start of the school year and maybe late August, early September that's what I'm hoping for, or may seem reasonable. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and I can't predict the future, but that's kind of where my headspace is and where my sanity stays for day to day, and my planning and my enjoying the moment here at home.
Yeah, it's kind of harsh to the reality of the situation, and to not have anywhere to go. That's probably my biggest pet peeve. It's just like, even if you could get out of the house, there's just where you're going to go. You know, everything's closed.
Yeah, right.
So,
hey, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, obviously the large scale events kind of seem more problematic, but we may have to take a different approach. I don't know. Maybe we'll play bigger venues and have it be a limited capacity thing, so everybody has some space. That, you know, whatever's possible and safe is what we'll try to do. And we just, you know, none of us really know when that's going to be. That's the challenge.
No. And you know what? We're all in the same boat, everybody in the whole world, which is really unique. Usually it's a city that's really affected or a country that's really affected. But, you know, we're all affected, and it really, you know, and you guys bring so much joy to people all the time. It's like you're just you're the house man for a party, for a moving party. Really, that's what I see when I go to Umphrey's. It's just like everybody's out there ready to rage it up, like let's go for it. And now the whole party's like, no party. But I've been partying in my house. I had the lasers on last night, my smoke machine. I was playing guitar with Zach. I'm just trying to do anything to keep busy. Are you guys? Are you playing on the internet? I saw Joel's doing a little thing, and Ryan, have you started anything yet, Kris?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I've been just doing video content and clips in my studio downstairs. I'm working on trying.
That's a great studio that's placed there.
And I'm trying to eventually figure out maybe an option to stream for certain things. And I'm a little late on the to the game on the giving lessons, but I'm thinking about doing that as well.
Well, so. I don't think you're gonna have any problem, Kris. You're one of the most unique drummers I've ever seen. The way you drop that band is just like relentless. I mean, you just pound. I think I got a little pounding picture somewhere in my little archive here. I get up behind Chris's drum set, and first of all, you could have your ears blown out because of where you are.
Right, earplugs.
Yeah, you gotta have the earplugs. And Kris,
I can play jazz too, though. I can play light.
Oh, hey, listen, I'm not saying
I'm not playing jazz there.
Incredibly drummer, but
that is not jazz right there.
Yeah, that's here.
That's a great shot.
What I got. Yeah, that's a class. That is a classic. You can really feel it, and it's really unique as a photographer to have the interaction, like to be on stage and have Jake come by with his guitar like that. You can see everybody in the background just going nuts there and cheering you guys on. This is I think this is the what stage. This is your last Bonnaroo performance. I guess that was last year or 2 years?
2 or 3 years ago. At the main stage. That was like my favorite.
No, I think you played what after Maine or no? Which after what?
We played. I know that we played before Monet, right?
There.
I think that was it.
Yeah, because I have you guys. Oh, that's that classic shot and Ryan. And that
Swayze hair.
This shot was the Rio Casino late night Vegas.
Wow.
And
my dad was there.
I'm on the other side of the stage.
If you could see, there's two girls on either end of you guys. It was the first show with go-go dancers.
Oh yeah.
And I also know this. I mean, this is true. We were also playing live porn on the screens around.
Yeah.
My dad was there with his buddy, and Mary Welch, my future wife, was there as well, but we didn't know each other then.
Yeah, you guys actually met in Jamaica, right? Was that right?
Colorado.
Oh, Colorado. Oh, so before Jamaica. This is in the dressing room of CBGB's.
Yeah.
And you guys played in there right before it got blown up, and that's the actual picture of how small the stage is.
Oh man!
There was a party that day, and we were loose for CBGB. That's for sure.
You were nice and loose.
Yeah,
that was the slimiest, sludgiest punk rock of a venue I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of punk rock venues, and that was the most punk rock.
Disgusting. That dressing room. I mean,
looks like a furnace room or something.
You didn't want to touch anything. You were like, okay. Yeah. I got to steer clear of this.
Huh.
Oh, there's another great drum shot.
Yeah. I like these picks. I have to hit you up for some, man.
Yeah, I would share the Dropbox with you guys. Nice. And this is a great shot. I think that's also that's got to be a Bonnaroo or a Vegoose or one of those. It's so hard to tell. There's young Brendan. This is the first picture I found of Brendan from the first Bonnaroo, so that would be 04.
Yeah. 04. Yeah, backwards hat, Notre Dame hat.
We played the
no, sorry, 02. This is the first Bonnaroo.
Wow.
You guys played the first Bonnaroo there, so I can see Stasik there out of focus. You know, it's funny because the pictures, I get the pictures off of Getty, off of Film Magic. I go through, and over the years, they've dropped a lot. There was only one shot from this Bonnaroo. I know I have more. I'm going to have to go through and pull some more.
You let me know. You know why, Jeff? It's very important that this happens. You know why? It's because that was the show I wore Speedo on a cowboy hat.
I do. I saw that shot. I did see that shot. For the sake of modesty, I didn't pull it. But this night was awesome. And this picture went around Twitter a couple weeks ago. This is your manager, Vince Iwinski. And they were like, yeah, people were talking about the Justice for All and the fact that you guys played Justice for All cover, and someone else commented that you played it in 04. And
Well, that's Mo.
I know. I went back to find the picture.
No, we did it. We did a Metallica tune with Vince, and then Mo came out, and then he sang with them again.
Oh,
So
he did. So it was. Well, it's funny because I didn't find anything with him and you guys. I'm gonna have to go back through that take and see. So he did. What song did he do with you? Did he do Injustice for All with you guys?
This is Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman.
Oh,
There
Enter
you go.
Sandman. Right.
And then I sing on Justice for All, and then he does Enter Sandman. Or he did Enter Sandman.
So you sang for Injustice for All. Yeah. Well, Kris,
But the funniest thing about all this was that this photo or something close to it was on the front of Bonnaroo Beacon, and they're like, "Umphrey's McGee's Vince Iwinski." Like, yeah, really doing a great job of advertising the band. Here's our minute.
there's your manager working with another act.
Yeah.
This is backstage in Vegas. That had to be 05, I think.
The card.
I wore
Yeah, I
red
remember
Crocs.
that. I remember that year.
Red.
Yeah, Ryan, you and I had the card outfits. I didn't wear it for that show. I wore it for a different one because it was just I couldn't play in it. But I was
Look at the wig I have on.
Queen of Hearts or something. I don't know.
Can't even see my eyes.
Yeah.
Blackjack. You were
Nice
Jack
hair
You were
there.
Blackjack. That's right.
And Kris with the wig on. Those
Yeah.
are great shows in Vegas. This, I want to say this is Bonnaroo or something like that.
Well, can you tell from the laminate?
I can't. You know what? I actually have the whole thing listed on here. Hold on, I could tell everything, but I just didn't write it down because I'm an idiot.
That might even be Summer Camp. No.
It's going to be either Electric Forest or maybe the first Rothbury or
Rothbury, maybe.
yeah, the first Rothbury was a lot of fun. That was 07. And here's you with wait, hold on. Is that Brendan? I want to say it's Brendan with the really bad hat. And
No.
That's
That's
Tom Hamilton.
oh, is it Tom? Okay.
Yeah, and then Brownie and Joe Russo.
That came from one of your shows, so I don't know. It must have been at Bonnaroo. Everybody got up on stage. You guys been working with the Disco Biscuits and friends with Brownstein and those guys for a long time.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, here's Joel working it.
That's what
I remember Joel coming up to me in the early days and saying, "I don't know what to do when you're taking my picture." You always wanted to turn and smile and like look because you're like, "Hey, you got my picture taken." And like, Joel, just do your thing. It's fine. But I love the interaction and being.
Kravitz, help me try to look cool, please.
Yeah. How do I look really cool? You look really cool here. You're really in it. What you gotta love. And this is Hollywood Boulevard. When you guys was that Kimmel? You guys did Kimmel or something?
Oh yeah. Kimmel.
Huey Lewis.
It was with Huey Lewis, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And then I was like, "Come on, guys, let's go walk down Hollywood Boulevard."
Might be the first time we've all had collared shirts or button-down shirts together.
Yeah.
And no baseball hats, which is very unusual.
Yeah, no hats. That's crazy.
Yeah, now I don't think
we had hair.
yet. Yeah, I got to work on some kind of covering, something to change my head. And this is the show where at the end of the
shot. I want that shot.
At the end of the set, Bobby Haight came up to me and said, "I didn't know that you were appearing with Umphrey's McGee today because I was literally on stage right next to you guys while you were running around." But the shot epic. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't know you were the featured guest tonight, Kravitz." And that's actually backstage. Joel getting some nice air right before you went out.
No,
And that's a shot I think you guys actually put on one of your calendars. Was the three guitars?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I think this was right before we went to Abbey Road. I think we went Bonnaroo and then went to London from there.
cool.
Really something else. And you guys have really had cutting edge light shows. You've just changed lighting directors after a bunch of years. How's that go? How's your new guy doing?
Ben's crushing it. Ben Factor is he's been working with us now full time since New Year's. Is that right? Yeah. And I mean, he's super passionate about it. He knows what he's doing. He's trying out a lot of new things and likes the idea of building an arc from the start to finish, which I dig that.
Well, I was kind of bummed that I wasn't able to shoot his light show because I was getting ready to. You guys were about to roll in. This is Red Rocks, which is one of my favorite places to see you guys. You guys have a very close relationship with Don Strasberg and the Denver people, and you've sold out Red Rocks for multiple nights now for years on end. What's it like to play in that venue?
I mean, one by one, we should all say something.
Yeah, start with Kris.
I would say it's pretty. It's kind of surreal, really. You know, you get there for the first few times we've been there. I just remember getting on that stage and just being in complete awe, just speechless of the beauty and the fact that we were even there. And then you're staring, you're just not even thinking about really playing is almost the easy part, or the part you almost forget because you're just retaining this vibe. And I think over the years, you would think that you kind of wane off of that feeling like it's the first time, you know, but you're actually getting more and more experience out of it, and it's more joyous every year that you go because you're more and more connected with the audience. And from the top all the way to the back and to the front, you just feel that energy every year. So it's a very special place in terms of energy, in my opinion. And of course, the aesthetics, beautiful.
Amazing. Ryan?
I'm gonna let Joel go next because this is gonna be my last hang before I have to go put my 6-year-old to bed.
Okay, you got it. Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, I would say I never have gotten over the feeling like, wow, I can't believe that we get to do this, and especially now that we've done multiple nights there, I feel like we get to enjoy it a little bit more because of that. So it's always an honor, and I've actually got they give us these little trophies. I've got it sitting out, the one from last year sitting out on my piano to remind me of that. It makes me happy. But I love that venue is embraced by music fans as much as we love it as musicians. And so it's one of those rare ones where I think everybody is having just as great of a time because of what the venue brings to the table.
Yeah.
Cool. And Ryan Stasik, going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that venue sucks. The sound's terrible. The energy's horrible. I'm so glad our shows got canceled. I gave all my trophies to Joel so they could look cool on his YouTube channel. Just red. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously. I think back in the day when Brendan and I first started playing music together, in all honesty, when we made a handshake to be like, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna get real jobs. We're gonna play music. Our goal is to play Red Rocks. Like that was the top. And we were lucky enough to do it and then do it multiple times. And it still is sweeter each time you get to do it. It's very special. It's been a very special venue. Probably when people do ask the question, "What's your favorite place to play?" this immediately comes to mind in the top three for sure. So I can't wait to see when they do open Red Rocks again. Who the first band is who gets to play? Because whoever's in Colorado should go see whoever it is anyway. Because it's going to be just insane energy.
By the way, our shows haven't been canceled yet.
Oh, I read an article that Red Rocks in all Colorado postponed in June and July until August.
I think AEG postponed their events, but yeah, I mean it's obviously not looking great, but I don't think we've officially made that happen. However, I did want to say that I think our first April Fool's joke as a band was we posted that we were going to play New Year's Eve at Red Rocks. The idea that it might be a little chilly out there, guys. Yeah.
Bring a coat.
That's classy. Well, Ryan, I'm not going to let you put the kids to bed. I love you very much. Thank you for coming on today. You come back whenever you want. Say hi. I want to get all 6 of you on at once so we can all yell over each other at some point. I'm going to hold the other two guys. We're going to hit a couple questions and comments here. All right?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Much
Give the kids a hug.
Yeah, give them a hug.
Love you guys.
Cheers,
Bye, Kris. Bye, Joe.
See you later.
Ryan Stasik, the bass player for Umphrey's McGee, checking in.
The man, the myth.
Hey, Mike, the water boy checking in. He's saying Stasik's not a doctor. He thought I was a doctor and trying to make an appointment with the receptionist. He's hanging up on me. I love the water boy. Come on. He's one of a kind. You guys have some incredible fans. One of your fans is saying for the YouTube comment, hazmat suits. Maybe that's the way you guys can tour.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of bands could do that if they get on that,
Mindy says she really doesn't care where you play. she's like, it could be a billion people, she would still go. So
Okay. Well,
people would rather get sick. Here is the live lesson masters. Kris Myers, you got it.
Thanks,
man.
Pete.
Yes, appreciate it.
Yeah, Pete Wallace, our good friend, checking in and letting everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Kris lesson incoming is what they're saying.
There you go, buddy.
I like it.
Yeah, I've been getting some requests for it. I would be happy to. I'm just trying to work it out. You know, my busy schedule right now is really busy.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You got to make some money. You got to get some fried chicken. How else are you going to?
Well, I'm going to donate that money if I make any money. So, but yes, and I mean that.
This is a man of the people.
Okay, yeah, well, certainly. I mean, everybody. You know, a lot of Kris is always down there talking to everybody and hanging out. Joel is always accessible. You know, everybody's chirping in about the Rio stage, the bar at the foot of the stage at the Rios. You guys play behind the bar. So when you went up to get a drink,
right? Not a great idea for a live show. You know, the people that want to be close to the stage. Yeah.
Max, my good friend Max Blackman checking in. That show was great.
What's up, man?
It's definitely they like Kris. This is one of those pictures with your punk rock points on those
yeah, that was some real rock and roll there. You got to get those photos.
Oh, and Mindy chirping and saying the dreams to see a full Umphrey show after a full Fish show. That's right. We went from Fish to see you guys.
That's a whole lot of jamming.
Yeah, I think I was kind of tired by the end of the night.
Holy Zambonies.
I think I got points for the Chubby Bayless pictures.
That's what I thought of too when I saw this picture. This guy.
Sean checking in. Wappy Easter in quarantine, y'all. He's it's a very interesting slow song. It didn't make me feel good when I was done. You feel good.
It's moody. It's
Easter quarantine. I felt like I was in quarantine.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. High Sierra. Tell us a little bit about that music festival. Dave Margulies and the fine folks.
Oh, yeah. High Sierra is one of our favorites. It was our first festival we played. And then also in 2003, like our first big summer tour that we did with Kris, that was kind of the focal point of that summer tour.
Yeah, I have a story about that too. We played I think the later afternoon set on one of the days. And it was like on a Sunday after. And this is when I first met Les Claypool. And Les came up to the stage and I think he talked about it during his show later on that night. And he was just like, stumbled across this band earlier in my bus. And I was sleeping. And all of a sudden I got interrupted by a band. And it woke me up. And I'm like, I better go see what this is all about. So I went up there. He goes up there. And he's like, who's the no drummer? Who's the drummer in this band? And I'm wearing like some Puma shirt, like some bro shirt. And it's like, it's Kris Myers. The drummer's ripping. He's ripping. So I always remember his being like, so thank you, Les.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of our favorite festivals. And this year, my wife and daughter actually drove up and we spent a little time in Sequoia National Forest and Kings Canyon afterwards. So got to enjoy some of the nature on the way back down. But yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful part of the country. Some of our, great friends and some of the best live music that's out there. It's got a great family vibe.
I heard you guys would roll those late night shows and play for like 5 hours or something.
That too. There were definitely some very very late night ones there. I got a good Bruce Hornsby story from High Sierra. So he did, I don't know, it was probably 2004 or 5, but he did a workshop in the day too, right? That they did in one of those barns where they have the late nights. And they dropped him off in a golf cart and he kind of walked in and I don't know, there wasn't a stage manager there at the time or something because it was like 1 PM. And so I was standing there because I was side stage just waiting to see so I could, see what he did. And he walked up to me and he's like, so you guys ready for me? And I looked out and I'm like, well, there's a guy standing out there in front of house. I was like, yeah, I think go for it. Yeah, thankfully went up there and the microphone was on, so I was off the hook. But I was like, oh man, Bruce Hornsby is going to come over here and berate me if this doesn't go well.
Yeah, watch out, man. Bruce is gangster.
With Taylor Smith coming in here and name checking, you know, this isn't the happiest thing to talk about, but this is reality. We lost Jeff Austin last year, and he was really important to you guys. You guys were really good friends with him. I think him and Bayless been friends forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since the Big Summer Classic Tour, 2000. I want to say it was 2005, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's like Joel and I. He was a Chicago suburbanite
As well, yeah.
I believe, and or Hoffman. I think it was Arlington Heights. But yeah, you know, I mean, knew him on and off, even just as in the Chicago scene playing and stuff, and he was a brilliant person, and it's still hard to believe that he's gone. So
yeah, him and Neil Casal last year, and that's why Hillary and her crew started Backline, which has been supporting everybody during these times and helping everybody out.
It's a great thing.
Who cares? You guys have anything you're raising money for besides yourselves and feeding your family?
Yeah, I did. Each night that I've done some music, I've done something. So I started an educational scholarship in both my parents' names at Lyons Township High School, where I went to high school and where my dad was a teacher. So for students pursuing a career in math education or elementary education, it's called the Jerry and Susan Cummins Educational Scholarships. And I'm going to do something this week for the Moog Foundation. So,
cool.
Michelle Moog Costa has been a good friend of ours for many years, and definitely want to try to support them as much as I can. They, for anybody who's in Asheville, she opened up a place called the Moogseum, which is kind of a history of Bob Moog and both.
You want to tell everybody what the Moog is who might not know?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, Bob Moog is kind of known as being the forefather of monophonic lead synthesizers, and so he's created tons of great instruments, and Moog has continued on. And by the way, yeah, Kris, I just ordered a Moog 1, so I'm gonna that's their new keyboard.
Cool, man.
So I'm gonna have one here at home. I'm super psyched to get back to some synth stuff. Yeah, he was just he's a really important guy, and his daughter Michelle Moog Costa has been kind of an advocate of everything, and has been getting Moogs into classrooms so that kids are learning how to play them, like all around the Asheville area. So there's a lot of cool things going on, and yeah, you guys should go visit the Moogseum though. It's a really, really interesting spot. I went there when we just played there a couple months ago. And
then he has Moog Fest too. That's part of the that's there in Asheville.
Right, and that's actually part of the Moog company. So there's the Moog Foundation, and then the producers of the keyboards. So, and that's more their thing.
That's pretty cool.
We had a little advice here from Robbie Williams.
Make sure it comes to the case. That's right. I also saw another comment from our crew member, Sam Sutton, who said, "You never paid for that shirt, Kravitz, and this would be a good time to collect the $30."
Oh yeah, yeah, but I think that I traded merch for the shoot actually.
Oh no! Oh really? Is that what happened?
Yeah. I never saw a check, so I think it was a trade thing.
Do we
and I got to eat up your craft service table. I think that was the deal.
You have definitely met your match, Joel.
Too funny. Well, guys, I appreciate you. You've been an important force in my life. You keep me happy. You keep me dancing. You give me some really cool pictures to shoot. The light shots. I go to fun places to see you guys. We've been all over this country seeing music, from Florida to Tennessee to New York City to the Pacific Northwest. I've seen you all over every corner of the country, and I love the innovation. If you don't know about Umphrey's McGee, every night's a different show. They switch up the set list. A song that's 2 minutes one night might be 20 minutes the next night. Brendan Bayless watches that clock like a bitch and makes sure everybody gets off time. He keeps that curfew tight.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be as anal when we come back, Kris. What do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you guys. Have a great Easter. Thanks for tuning in today, and I look forward to
nice hanging with you, Kravitz.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Jeff.
Kris,
right.
good to see you, buddy. Love you, dude.
Yeah, you too. Talk to y'all later.
Happy
All right,
Easter.
thank you. Happy
All right.
Easter. All right. See ya. There you go. Umphrey's McGee, Joel Cummins, Kris Myers, and Ryan Stasik coming on today to wish everybody a happy Easter and give everybody a little levity in their day and talk about shit we shouldn't be talking about. It's great to catch up with my old friends and to see everybody tuning in, and I can see all you guys commenting on here, and it's just, you know, it's a blessing. Our whole scene, everything that we've built, the whole community around the music that we love, it's what completes us. It drives us, and it's so hard not to have that day to day and just to have something to look forward to. We've always had something, and I always hated the fact that it would be 200 days to Bonnaroo. I was like, wait, I'm not trying to rush 200 days and concentrate on Bonnaroo. I have things to do now. But you know what? I miss a good countdown, and I would love a good countdown to know the next time I'm going to go see a concert and see a great band like Umphrey's or Fish or anyone else out there right now. You know what, folks? We're not in charge. We're being played. You are the P. They're moving those walnuts around, and it's all to take dollars out of your pocket. So stay safe. Take care of each other. Spread the love, but social distance. I don't know how you do that. But anyway, have a great Sunday. Tomorrow, Monday, kicks off a really big week here. 420 all week long. We have giveaways every day, giving solo pipes away. I've had my buddy Brian Raskin. We're going to give away one of his beautiful tubes. This one's mine. You're not going to get it, but you can give it away. It's going to be a random contest, so I can't give it to any of my good friends who want to bribe me. You're going to have to do it yourself. A couple other notes. I'm going to give solo pipes. Joel, I'm going to send you one of these, and I'm going to send one to Stasik, and I don't know if Kris actually needs it, but the solo pipe is really cool. We're going to give those away one day a week. Also, my guest yesterday, Armando Gallo, I got hit up left and right for this book. I know what I like. He had 45 copies left. If you really want one, I would get on it because my messages have been blowing up from all the people I went to school with. They were like, high school, were like, wait, that book's out. I can get a copy. So get a copy. Tomorrow on the show, we are going to talk to my friend Chewy Smith. He has this new company. It is called Also Organics. And I have this box. He's like, don't open it. You see, I haven't even opened it to look what's inside of it. But he's dealing with CBDs, and we're going to open this with him on the air and look at some of his products and talk about them. And then we're also going to talk with Mark Chaldon, who's a chemist, and he's going to tell us about some of the science behind CBD. We're going to have a women in cannabis thing this week. We're going to have a cannabis and music and events, and we're going to talk to some of legendary growers. We're going to talk to a couple legendary authors, the authors of Pot Culture, and we're going to talk to Steve Bloom and Shirley Halpern. Shirley doesn't even know it yet, but it's happening. The good thing is everybody's home, secluded. I could just like bang, bang, bang. I want to thank Umphrey's McGee. You guys come on. We had 50% of the band. We're going to shoot for a higher percentage next time. I love you guys. Please take care of each other. Please take care of yourselves. Hydrate, liquidate, medicate. Do what you got to do. Don't get sick. Don't believe this stuff. Don't watch the news. Take care of each other. Here's the hug. Big Easter hug. Happy Easter, everybody. Have a great day. Don't eat too much candy because then you end up in the dentist.